Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
Single best idea. And what the single best idea in reality is every day is different. Yesterday, coming off the madness of tariffs and DeepSeek and all that, we almost paused yesterday and had more extended, lengthy, deeper conversations. James Steele was just outstanding on gold yesterday, but there were many other high points. Today was right back into strategy and into the news flow. We started strong with Julian Emanuel. He's at Evercore ISI, which for those of a certain vintage is ISI, which is Edward Hyman. Ed Hyman has the luxury of Julian Emanuel's wisdom on the equity markets. I tried to dovetail in Ed Hyman's economics, Ed Hyman's encyclopedic knowledge of flows of goods and services in America with Julian Emanuel's view on Mag 7. Let's listen.
We do, no question about it. And again, that goes back to Ed's roots as an MIT grad. But from our perspective, what we've seen in the last couple of weeks with the evolution of DeepSeek is actually, if anything, going to accelerate adoption. And that's the key. Corporate America accelerating adoption of AI. We as consumers are already there, the same way we were the internet in the early 90s before it hit desktops in corporate America.
Julian Emanuel, very constructive on investment in America, given all the volatility and distractions that we see right now. A second idea to play, there were just so many to talk to, but we had to go to the outstanding work from the Levant. And from this, I mean really from Ankara and Istanbul, but certainly from Beirut on down through Israel and Gaza, and all that we're seeing in the diplomacy of a new American administration with visits by Jordan and Egypt to speak to President Trump, newly elected, second term President Trump. And all of that is seated in Tel Aviv with Ethan Bronner. He is driving all of Bloomberg News there, just a wonderful heritage of coverage of the events of the Middle East. Ethan Bronner on the step forward for Gaza.
We're 2 weeks into it. They're supposedly starting a discussion about the next phase. But of course, what the president just said kind of throws everything into the air. Meanwhile, on the ground, hundreds of thousands of people are returning to nothing, to their homes that are, hanging rebar and no water, no sewage, and they don't know what to do. Many of them are going back to the humanitarian area. Many of them are saying, get me out of here. So, that is one thing that needs to be said here, that ideologically, Palestinians ought to be moved, but personally and practically, plenty of them would go if there were a place to go, because their homes are unfortunately a construction zone.
Intractable challenges, and Ethan Bronner and all of our team in the Eastern Mediterranean will continue to provide really hourly, not daily, hourly leadership on coverage here. Look to Balance of Power, of course, with Joe Matthew and Kaylee Lyons for further discussions on this, particularly with a take from Washington. On your commute across the nation, on Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, thank you, Google, for mentioning podcasts not once, not twice, but 3 times in comments yesterday. Didn't mention Bloomberg Surveillance and single best idea, but, they're very aware of the growth of this podcast experiment. We're on YouTube podcasts. This is single best idea.